Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back.
Yes,
having a good time.
Yeah, we were talking on the break.
We were talking on the break. One of the reasons why I was running late is because I got my two beautiful kids here this morning.
Yes,
actually.
you do have beautiful kids, and smart, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very smart.
Absolutely. We'll see if I can get Andrew here to come in and yell on the radio here in a minute and be like, hi.
Anyway, we talked about earlier that, the function of a cable, because not everybody knows what a post-tension slab is, and I think predominantly in most of your production homes, post-tension is, from my knowledge, probably the last 30 years, dominant.
Right. I haven't seen anything built post 1995 with a rebar in it. I mean, driveways, sidewalks, things like that, sure. But as far as your actual slab itself, I mean, I don't know of anybody who's putting rebar in your foundation. What the function of a post tension cable is, and it's kind of a neat dual purpose thing. You lay the cables in, and then you pour the concrete around it. What the cables do, they act like a skeletal structure for the slab. Just like the human body, you need your bones to hold everything in place and hold everything together.
I was watching Chris.
I was listening.
I'm paying attention here.
We need to pull it out of the downward stall real fast.
That is correct. That's right.
All good.
As long as I don't look at Rob when you're speaking, I'm fine.
I don't know.
Why is it every time I show up, I act like a 12-year-old?
I don't know. Whatever comes out of yours or Rob's mouth, Joe and I just have to laugh.
Fair
your own
enough.
show. You could
I'm the
call
straight
it the innuendo show.
I am the straight guy, man. I don't know.
Straight guy.
I'm just trying to ask the questions and get a straight answer. And
yep,
you guys are sitting there.
Welcome to innuendo show.
I mean, I guess we talked about this morning, day old donuts. I mean, that'd be a neat little show,
right?
But that was courtesy of Vaughn here. I lost my train of thought. The skeletal structure of the slab. Yeah. Basically, what it does, it gives the concrete something to adhere to, gives the concrete its form, and allows it to bond together. Now, the tension portion of post-tension cable is but they'll tighten those cables up in order to provide exterior tension inward. So it basically compresses the slab, try and hold it from wanting to walk out or do anything wild. The cool thing about post-tension foundations when it comes to what we do here at Permapier, they're a lot more forgiving than a rebar slab.
Or a mother-in-law.
Or
a mother-in-law. I love holiday shows.
They're great.
I love my mother-in-law, if she's listening.
But there's a lot of post-tension that goes on in there, huh?
Good tie back.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you know what?
How you like that one? I just tied back on the tie back.
That is correct.
Post-tension, tie back. Anyway.
Long story short, folks, I mean, post-tension cables they're a good thing when installed properly. If an inspector says something about it, we could come out and take a look. I guess the main point here is if you have questions, get a hold of an expert.
If you have questions, call us.
I just never knew slabs were this funny.
Yes.
What happens if you have a cable tension foundation and one of the cables actually breaks?
Funny thing you ask that. I had an instance a few years ago. Actually, it didn't happen to me. It happened to one of my colleagues. He gets a phone call in the middle of the night. Some lady said, my foundation exploded.
That was so funny.
So,
I mean, how do you determine that in the middle of, you wake up to a loud noise and your first thought is, my foundation exploded.
So the immediate advice to her was, get out of your house. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll be by in the morning.
Yes.
Right?
Seek help.
What had happened was one of the caps let go, probably because of it being rusted. Now, the other theory, and I didn't see this house. I don't know. I'm only speculating. It was either the caps were bad or somebody had over-tightened the cable and one of the caps let go. And it shot the cable out of the side of the slab about 6.5 foot.
Wow.
It probably sounded like a firecracker going off or something. I don't know. I imagine it'd be really loud. There are a couple companies, and I don't have any on hand, that will actually go in and retighten those cables if necessary. They can thread a new cable through. They've got a couple of different methods of doing that. And they use a hydraulic ram or a hydraulic machine, very similar to the hydraulic machine that I use to drive Piers in. And they'll tighten it to the proper specifications. They'll put the anchors in, and you're good to go. So if you lose a post-tension cable, if you're having repair work done, let's say you choose to break out in the interior of your home basically by jackhammering a hole in the center of your house as opposed to tunneling it to access an internal pier, it's not the end of the world. It can be fixed.
Well, question I've got, I was down actually in Galveston last weekend. Went to Moody Gardens, big shout out there, a lot of fun. Anyways, you know, I
750.
Yes.
That is correct.
Moody Gardens.
Anyways, in going down there though, I was noticing everything is really pier and beam in that area. I mean, everything is down there is pier and beam, especially when you start getting to League City and start moving some of the areas on the coast right there, and then obviously all of Galveston. What's the difference, really? I mean, from a foundation perspective for a home, right? You have your normal post-tension slabs, then you've got your pier and beam. The pier and beam, how do those sort of work?
Pier and beams it's an older technology,
Right.
Back before we started pouring concrete that was strong enough to hold together, you'd put a pad and block down or some kind of support, put a wooden support structure down, and you'd build the rest of the house up off of that. One of the big things I see for Galveston, League City, anything closer to the bay, building a home on a pier and beam structure, a lot of times that's to elevate the home out of the floodplain in a less expensive manner than bringing in, filling in the lot, piering it, pouring a big old giant slab up, out of elevation.
Yeah.
So
when I was building custom homes, I did conventional slabs with piers, which basically you have a large grade beam, and then you'd actually do some drill tests to go find your first real firm strata of clay.
Yep.
And then I use a bell-bottom pier. So I was usually going down about 8-foot bell-bottom piers like that, and then I use what they call a void box rather than tie it to the slab so that it wouldn't cause too much stress on the slab and stuff like that. And those are pretty successful. But I think in custom homes, I think it's still being used, not so much in production homes.
Well, in the interest of the what you don't know can hurt you kind of thing, is there something that, as far as foundation or maintaining a foundation here in Houston, is there anything that you can do to avoid problems, things that could cause you issues down the road?
There are things you can do to deter problems.
I need guarantees.
Well... It's like
I'm kidding.
Like a used car lot here. If the muffler falls off, man, I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help you.
What'd you call that? A taillight?
A taillight warranty? I was talking about a crummy job I had a long time ago at a used car lot. Yeah. So
I think you're talking about things like soaker hose
right.
and things like that keep around. And
here's the thing. I can put everybody to sleep with preventative maintenance stuff. Or you could go to www.permapier.com. There are the 10 most common mistakes made by homeowners. It's actually a list on there, and it's got some really neat stuff. And I cannot for the life of me, wow, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I cannot for the life of me remember the name of Brian Gilchrist's blog. He goes by the Houston Foundation guy. You can search him on the internet. He's got a really, really, really awesome blog on there. It's got a lot of
could you come prepared next time?
Yeah, a little bit. I can bring a little more knowledge and breakfast next time.
Yeah, really.
Okay, the breakfast is what we're
I would say priority on the breakfast.
Real quick, I want to talk about it because some companies are using just where they're driving the piers, forcing it into the earth for support. You kind of do both. You do what you call typical piers that are poured concrete, and then some that are also kind of explain those processes.
There are a multitude of piling options out there. Some companies choose to use one or two or stay exclusive to one particular type of repair. What we've done is we've tailored our services to meet the needs of everyone. Your most commonly used pier in the Houston metro area, really in Texas, is going to be a press pier, where you use the resistance of the home or the load of the home as resistance to drive a pier into the ground using a hydraulic press. They're less expensive that way. I offer the same lifetime warranty on that pier as a Godzilla crazy pier. And that's
a technical term. Godzilla.
That's a very technical term.
Crazy. I haven't heard that terminology before.
Right.
I'll put that in the archives.
We have all kinds of terminology.
Our producer
here at
really needs
Perma-Pier.
breakfast over here.
Yeah,
Her stomach was growling. I heard it all the way across the room. Now she's bailing on us.
yeah.
She's going to get a day-old donut.
Dale donut. We concrete press piers. We use a concrete segmented piece of so basically a cylinder. That once again is the most common. You can use steel segments where you use a steel interlocking segment. You can use
When you say
bell bottom
interlocking, is
piers.
that with a cable? Where the cable?
No, they're offset, so you have an inner set and an outer set. Basically, what it does is it doubles the compressive strength of the pile, and it also keeps it from being able to shift back and forth or move or anything. Almost fits together like a puzzle piece. And that's a really effective pier. The only thing I don't like about that is the cost of those piers down here in Houston are so great because we don't have any accessible bedrock. Well, accessible may be a choice term because it's about 2,200 feet deep. But and I don't feel comfortable trying to drill all the way down there.
Feet, yes.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not on the crew from Armageddon. So
Yes.
House in a Hole Homes. How can I help you?
yeah.
Now, how far down do these piers have to go to stabilize the home typically?
It
in
depends.
Houston?
It really depends. Those steel pilings drive a lot deeper because steel provides less friction than concrete. What stops the piling here in Houston metro area is that it's not. There's no bedrock. There's not a shelf down there. It's the applied friction from the soil against the pile. I've had cases in Houston where we drive 3 feet deep. I've had cases down south, Sugar Land, Stafford, Missouri City areas where we've gone 30, 40, 50 feet with concrete. And then I've had a house.
my.
Yeah, the last time I did steel piers down in Sugar Land, it was on a big old giant, heavy two-story house. And man, we drove piers for 85 feet.
Wow.
Steel. And I was looking at it going, I bid this job wrong. I'm losing my shirt today. So
Wow.
Well, that's amazing.
Because Houston, our soil is mainly clay, isn't that correct? I mean,
right.
we're very clay rich.
It depends.
Yeah.
Actually, you're the one that told me about that app.
Yeah,
There's an app that'll GPS. They'll show you what kind of soil you're standing on.
right
by
where
where
you're
you
standing.
are.
Yep.
Really?
It's
Yes.
called Soil Web, and you can find it on. I don't know about Androids. I know my iPhone. I can find it, but
I got an Android.
yeah.
Soil
you do?
Web.
Okay. Yeah. It's a neat app. You can figure out what kind of soil you've got. You've got a couple of different types, and once again, I won't go into. Got Vaughn over here playing magic tricks on me. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I've had enough coffee this morning for that. But
I thought it was his gang signs again.
Yeah.
gang
Exactly.
signs. Better watch out, man. The FCC might be listening. So
Yes. I'm sure they tuned out 5 minutes ago. I'm sure.
Right. The Soil Web, though, that's
Soil Web. It's a neat app. It's got all kinds of stuff on it where you can find different soil classifications. We're basically divided between sand and clay. Most people refer to the Houston soils as gumbo. It just doesn't taste as good. So.
Yes.
well, what doesn't taste as good is whenever we have to go on a break.
Yes, we do.
But actually, what is good is because during the break we have a lot of fun as well. So, all
And
those
our
listening,
sponsors,
yes,
who
all those listening,
are wonderful.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
That they should do.